Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing a Cyberpunk Edgerunners characters tier list. I guess that was a mouthful. But yes, we're going to be doing an Edgerunners character tier list. Now I don't think these are all of the characters, but I guess these are kind of like the main characters. We got a good few of them here, so let's just hop right into it. I want to start with David's mom here because David's mom is a goat. She's just a hardworking mother. Maybe does some sketchy stuff on the side by selling these like stolen cybernetic implant things or whatever, but she was cool, and she was cool with the rest of the mercenary people. We find that out a little bit later, but yeah, definitely a cool character. Kind of died in a whack way because, you know, in anime, the main character's parents always have to be dead or missing. That's just how it goes, and I guess her death kind of gave David a reason to join a gang and start making some money. But I definitely liked her character. She's just a hardworking mother, and you can't hate on that, man. Definitely gonna put her in A tier because she's just a goated character. I think we should jump over to the Ripper Doctor now, or the Ripper Doc. I don't remember his name, but he was kind of funny and was a little bit weird and wacky, but he was the one doing David's implants. I just thought he was like a really funny character. I think he really liked his brain dances though, because a couple of those scenes we caught him with a stroker, I'm just gonna call it that. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm seeing things, I think he was caught with a little thingy thing on his thingy thing, going wild with it, which was slightly weird but funny to see in an anime because you don't really see stuff like that very often in anime or ever. It's kind of why I like Cyberpunk so much, because it's just really unique and like a one of one. But he was funny, so I think I'm gonna put him in a B tier. Alrighty, I think up next here we are going to do the big bad guy of the series, or kind of the bad guy. I don't really remember his name, that's my fault, but I do know he is voiced by the dude who played Gus in Breaking Bad, which is an amazing voice actor choice there. It's good to see different people voicing dubs for anime. You gotta love it, because a lot of the time they just use the same voice actors to dub anime, and you can point out a million characters voiced by the same voice actor, so it is cool to see him switch it up every once in a while. But he is a bad guy and kind of a dickbag. We didn't really like him because, you know, he's a villain. You're not really supposed to like him, and you can't even really see his face in this picture, which isn't the best for this video. You just gotta visualize it. Alright, we're gonna put him in a C tier because big bad guy, amazing voice actor though. Alrighty, let's see who we got. I think we should jump over to Doria now. Doria is kind of like a really unique character. I mean, she's just incredibly muscly and like really funny, because in that one scene she like punched Maine in like the face and then started making out with him. It was incredibly strange, but they had a nice little romance together, her and Maine. That was cool to see, and she was just this kind of scary character. She was really muscly and really cool at the same time. We didn't really get to see much of her. It was like very little. She didn't have that much of an impact on the story as a whole, but she definitely had a giant impact on Maine's story, because when she, in spoiler alert, there might be more spoilers in this video, when she died, it kind of sent Maine over that edge, and you know, they kind of just went up in a blaze of glory. Maine blew a whole bunch of shit up, but Doria was a likable character, and I really can't complain about her. Definitely gonna slap her in a B tier. And since we just got done with Doria, we gotta talk about Maine. At first, I didn't really like Maine all that much, but he really started to grow on me as a character because he was more of a mentor for David, sort of. He was just this specimen of so much cybernetic enhancements and all this crazy stuff, which, you know, it did lead to him going cyber psycho, if that's what you want to call it. But he was a really cool character. He was like super fly and very likable at the end there. And like I said before, he did go out in a blaze of glory, which is always awesome. It is unfortunate to see damn near all of your main characters die, but he did die with some crazy honor, just blowing some shit up and killing a whole bunch of people. And I believe David did get his hands or his arms. I think that was mentioned in the anime. He was like, hey, eventually you'll get my hands or my arms or whatever it was. So that was cool. He definitely had an impact on David. He was like an inspiration for David because David ended up becoming basically just like him, all big and muscly and stuff. But Maine was a Superfly character. Was he my favorite? No, but I definitely think he was a good one, so I'm gonna also slap him in a B tier right next to Doria. Now, I don't know if this will be a hot take, but we're jumping over to Kiwi now. I'm gonna be honest, I liked Kiwi at first. Kiwi was kind of like weird and wacky and was just like really different. I think she was a net runner or whatever you call them, and she has this mask on because I guess she doesn't have a mouth or something like that. Really weird stuff. But at first, I really liked Kiwi, and then you find out that she did turn on the rest of the gang and, sided with the big bad guy because, that's just how it goes. And eventually it led to her death and her downfall because this dude obviously betrayed her and, all that stuff. Like I said, this might be a little bit of a hot take, but, that little turn on the crew kind of soured my taste towards her and didn't really like her all that much afterwards. So I think I'm going to be putting her in a C tier. Right next to the bad guy, because she's kind of a bad guy too. Let's hop over to Pillar, or the long arms dude as I like to call him. I always call him the dude with the long arms because I can never remember the name Pillar, even though it's so simple. I guess I'm just dumb. But Pillar was funny. He was kind of like comedic relief. He had these very long arms. It was really weird, but a great character design. And he was funny all around, but he did meet an unfortunate end kind of early in the series. I feel like he should have lived a little bit longer. I liked him, he was funny. We're gonna be throwing him into a B tier. Not much to say about him. He didn't have that much of a crazy impact, but he was definitely enjoyable to watch, and I have literally no complaints with him. Alright, let's talk about Falco next. He was the driver, I guess, and once again, hot take, maybe. He might be a fan favorite, I don't know, but not that big of an impact on the story. He was introduced later in the anime, so he didn't have that much time to like really grow on me. He was cool and he has a really cool mustache. I have to compliment the mustache. It's really great. It's like a 70s, 80s porn star mustache. That's always cool to see in anime. But he was the driver, and I guess he did get Lucy out of like the big ending, and I think they both survived at the end there, which was really weird because out of all the characters to survive, didn't think it would be Falco. I thought they were just gonna clap him off like it was nothing, but he ended up surviving, I'm pretty sure. But like I said, I don't know if it's too much of a hot take, but I'm going to put Falco in a C tier. Alrighty, I guess we can do David next. Now David was like a one-of-a-kind main character. He just wanted to, I guess, be better in life, make a better life for himself. He didn't have any money, so he ended up joining the mercenaries and get some bread. And eventually that kind of led to his downfall because he just kept like upgrading himself and doing all this stuff to his body, which led to going cyber psycho. But he did go out like a hero, he was trying to save his people. He did take out the big bad villain, and he saved Lucy, which was his love interest. He did die. It's not very often you see your main character die in an anime, and it's kind of weird and a little heartbreaking because you want to see a happy ending, but you don't always get a happy ending in anime, which is very unfortunate. But I think David was really a one-of-a-kind MC, and he was a great character to watch interact with all these other characters and handle all these situations. Definitely a great one, and I have zero complaints when it comes to David, and I think David will be the first S tier of this tier list. Alright, we are down to our last two. I guess we'll do Lucy next. Now Lucy was the love interest and kind of like the mysterious person of the crew for the most part. We didn't really get to hear too much of her backstory. We did get a nice little glimpse. She was like a net runner for Arasaka or whatever the whole big bad corporation was, and she just wanted to go to the moon. Did fall in love with our boy David, and they did have a relationship, and I think she was one of the people trying to tell David, hey, slow down, man, stop upgrading so much, you're gonna die. And she was one of the only ones to escape the final mission, if that's what you want to call it, the final big battle. So I guess we will take her and slap her in an S tier because she was a really solid character. And up next we have one of my favorite characters, Rebecca. Rebecca was the very flamboyant, over the top, loud, just balls to the wall character. And I personally really like the balls to the walls characters who are just absolutely insane and just hot-headed, doing all this crazy shit, and that's what Rebecca was. She was just fighting all these people and doing all this crazy shit, and she had a really unique character design. I think one of the most unique character designs out of the main characters here. Definitely enjoyable to watch, and she also was one of the characters telling David, hey, stop doing what you're doing, you're gonna die. And I think she was kind of seeking a relationship with David. It didn't happen, but I think that's what she was doing. Definitely one of my favorite characters, and I am absolutely going to put Rebecca in an S tier. Anyways, this is where I'd place all of these characters. If Adam Smasher was on this list, we'd put him all the way in a Z tier because Adam Smasher is an asshole. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know how you would rank all of these characters down in the comments. Don't flame me too hard if I have any hot takes here. Make sure to check the description for all my links. Leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Later.